About to start. Okay, so I think that all the devices connected. Thank you so much for joining this live stream. We're about to start. Today is March 20th, Thursday, as usual, 5 p.m. Um, thank you so much for joining from TikTok, YouTube, and then Instagram. For those of you who are joining from Facebook, LinkedIn, you don't have a way to connect with me in terms of asking questions. I'm really sorry for that. Thank you so much for joining from, once again, TikTok, YouTube, and then Instagram. Today's topic is Trump immigration. And then when your question's relevant, obviously we're talking Trump immigration. All immigration, U.S. immigration matters will be relevant. All right. So I will try to answer your questions as well. So I'm just typing up one information. So I'm attorney Jae Francis. You're joining scheduled live stream. The topic for today is a Trump immigration, but we're gonna talk about all U.S. immigration matters. So, Pascal, thank you so much. Joining from just give me 1 second here. YouTube. So why don't I start with certain topics, and then when it's relevant, then I will answer. Okay. So, um, you know. Sonika asked the question, that person, Sonika got a speeding tickets. Do you need to disclose it? This is what we do when our clients have a traffic citation, speeding, for example. You need to tell that you're cited. One of the question on 45, have you ever arrested, cited, continuous. So you need to say yes. And then on the last page of 45, you need to say that I was, cited for speeding in, for example, making up Ohio in 2025, but I paid the fine in full. So that's what we usually do for our cases. But thank you for asking. So I'll review the questions, but I'm gonna start with the first topic. Okay. Now, alien registration. So this is something that USCIS finalizing, and then I will talk about basic kind of understanding of alien the registration. So there is a people who already registered. It means that you don't need to register and fingerprint it. So those of you who enter with a visa, right? And then usually you get I-94 because of that. So then enter with a visa and have I-94. Or you have a work permit, 765 with you, right? So many people have a work permit. And also, when you have an NTA, notice to appear, it means that you have a case with the removal proceeding with the immigration court, then you don't need to register. But if not, you need to register and then fingerprint it. There's a Canadian specialty. So, for example, if you're from Canada, right, the Visit America, you don't need a visa, right? Canadian visa waiver. For those of you who's visiting US, right, and then within 30 days, if you're here more than 30 days, then you need to register. Canadian visa waivers, you need to register, but you don't need fingerprinting. So that's the variation. To me, a typical candidate would be those of you who enter without inspection but never caught, right? So you don't have an NTA, but so you enter without inspection, and then you got married to U.S. citizen, permanent resident. You have a pending I-130 or I-130 approved. Then you're waiting or processing. You have approved 601A waiver. You are the prime candidate of registration and fingerprinting. But the question is this. Now, you need to start doing this after April 11, 2025. It's coming up soon, April 11, 2025. If you fail to do this, there will be 5,000 fine and 6 months of jail or both. But the question is that if you do this, then will government knock on the door and then detain you and then put you into removal proceeding or use put you into summary deportation. We don't know actually. So that's the risk that you have. So I just briefly talked about alien registration, and then I'm gonna switch to TikTok and answer some questions, and then also I'm gonna talk about a DACA, Dream Act or Dreamers. Just let me drink the water, okay? So we have quite a bit of questions from here. They're popping up here. Okay, so then Jessica Barrios. So Jessica family went through military parole in place. Either Jessica or your family member, served the military or active duty. And then if that were to be the case, the immediate family's beneficiaries, entry without inspection will be forgiven. So then it's called military PIP. So 131, and then when it's approved, then you will be able to adjust your status. And then Jessica's family, PIP is pending 3 months. You're almost there, like 3 to 5 month processing time. Okay, we have a lot of military parole in place. The question here, okay, just give me 1 second here. Okay, so Tati asked, how long does it take for marriage green card case in Missouri? I think that's what you said. I tell this all the time. If your case is not scheduled for interview, it means that USCIS will not schedule interview. Then it does not really matter where you live. Wilson, thank you so much for joining. Good to see you, Wilson, from Instagram. But if they schedule interview, then those of you who live on West Coast, South, and East Coast will take longer. Missouri, probably similar to Chicago. So I will tell you this. Our cases from Wisconsin and Illinois, regardless of whether they schedule interview or not, 6 months from the beginning to the end, including interview schedule or approval without interview. We tell our clients that, rarely our case is scheduled for interview. There's some more in Wisconsin than Illinois, but that's how long it takes. Okay. I'm just going in reverse order. Okay, we'll just like yes. Penny Rob asked, does your spouse need to come with you for a biometrics appointment? Looks like your spouse is U.S. citizen. Answer is no. Hey, Ashutosh, good to see you from Instagram. Your U.S. citizen spouse does not need to come with you for biometrics. There's a growing fears that if you go for a biometrics appointment, you wonder, like those of you who overstay the visa, will they detain you? I mean, not from Wisconsin and Illinois, but anything's possible if you're in certain part of this country. So you need to be careful. Just listen to what the local applicant is saying over there. Okay. Yeah, Jacob asked, can my wife get a green card after being deported? Well, I mean, when you say deported, it looks like she had a final removal order and then left the United States, or she chose to stay in the United States. There's two different kinds. Now, when you have a final removal order, Ram, thank you so much for joining from Instagram too. You need to be careful because you're high priority for ICE pickup. So for those of you, Boshel, I'm butchering your name, but thank you so much for joining from Instagram. Those of you who have a final removal order, you need to be careful. If you need attorney help, just call us, right? So once again, this is like every single time I tell this, I'm allowed to share my phone number with YouTube, but not with a TikTok and Instagram. So the Instagram and then TikTok, you need to go to my profile, Dr. Jae Francis Immigration, and then you need to find the phone number and then call us. Okay, call us. We got a lot of inquiries today. I'll do my best. Okay. Okay, so then our client Ashutosh asking question from Instagram. Your biometrics coming up March 24th. I just explained that you don't need to go with your spouse, just you. And then in terms of what you need to prepare, bring government issue ID, valid one, usually it's a passport, and then your biometrics notice. Nothing else. Nothing else. They don't talk to you. They don't do mini interview, and then you'll be just fine. Okay, you'll be just fine. Okay. Okay, so Moses the Great, a great ask question here. Oh, I see. So you have a 212H waiver, and then you're thinking about applying for N400. Now, I'm not able to tell you this type of complex case over this like a live stream, but call us, and then we'll do an evaluation for you. So, Moses, congratulations on your waiver approval, but you need to be careful. So, switching back to some of the question here. Moon Knight 7, what is the best way to bring partner to US as a fiance or spouse? Okay. Now, the fiance visa, right, before Trump used to be fast, 6 months, and then it's taking a little bit longer. We're talking about 7 to 8, 9 months now. It used to be 6 months, but 7 to 9 months. But it's still faster than going with a spouse visa. So Moon Knight 7, if you need attorney, call us. But still, I like the fiance visa over spouse visa because it's faster. So fiance visa is faster. Okay. Now I'm gonna catch up with you, all you, right? But I have certain topic I like to cover. So you like to go overseas. That's one of the most popular topic. I have advanced parole or travel permit. Can I go overseas now? Or I'm a permanent resident, whether you're conditional permanent, can I go overseas now? Answer is you need to think twice, and that this is why. So those of you who apply for AOS and then have an advanced parole, but you overstay your visa, you have an unlawful presence in the past, don't go. When you go overseas and come back, you'll be detained. So according to new in the recent CBP regulation. So for those of you who had unlawful presence in the U.S. but have an AP, advanced parole, you don't go. Permanent residents, right? Those who have a green card, but you have a criminal records, you don't go either, because when you come back, they're gonna review, and then you could be detained. Your green card could be detained. Now, and then obviously, when you go overseas and come back, CBP may look at your cell phone. Remember, some of these doctors and professors lost their visas and the green card. Government alleges that they follow them, and then they had confirmation. They had pictures with certain terrorist organization. Whether that's true or not, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna look at your smartphone and then see whether there's any evidence against you. Finally, conditional residence. Those of you who got married, but when the US CIS approved your case, you're married less than 2 years and you got conditional residence. When you go overseas and come back alone, you need to be careful, right? Because they're gonna call your US citizen spouse, and then if your US citizen spouse doesn't answer, you're gonna encounter issue. So what do you do if you're conditional residence? Try to come back to US with your spouse, US citizen spouse. I'm gonna drink some water. Thank you so much for joining from Instagram, YouTube, and then TikTok. So I'm gonna answer the questions from TikTok side. Okay, so Uncle Franco, right? So attended marriage green card interview about 5 months ago. I-130 was approved, still waiting for 45. So when you go for interview, marriage green card case, most cases they will approve your case, right? I-130 and 45 at the same time. But there's a variation. The second most common scenario would be they approve your I-130 petition. It means that there is no issue with your bona fide relationship. You prove enough. But they like to check your inadmissibility, and usually means that they're checking your visa application. Like it can be tourist visa, it can be your student visa, and all this. And then they like to see whether you lie to them, lie to the government. So for example, one good example would be when you apply for tourist visa, you or agent say that you're married, legally married, but that's not the case, right? But when you apply for tourist visa, and then you say you're married, but later when you apply for marriage green card case, and then when they ask how many times have you married, you say one with my current spouse. That's visa fraud and misrepresentation. So when the USCIS only approve I-130, not the 45, usually they like to see whether you lied to government in the past. Another example would be you enter with the F1 student visa, and then you say that this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to this school. I'm gonna study this. But whatever reasons, you never attended any class, like not even single day. And then you got married to U.S. citizen and think that you'll be okay. Under Trump, think twice because that's the visa fraud and misrepresentation. So I'm gonna read this. Uh, Yeah, so then Anthony, you say my daughter recently sponsored me. What's the timeline? This is a parent adjustment of the status case. I mean, well, you have some you have some ideas about the Biden, but one thing I will miss from Biden era is that everything was really fast in 2024. Parent adjustment of the status cases took about 3 months for them to review. 3 months, no interview. But now, usually, parent adjustment of the status case processing time it will be about a year. The best case scenario would be 6 months, 6 to 1 year, a possibility of interview. But I talked about this all the time. Mandatory interview for AUS cases has not come back. Has not come back. Yeah, Laura, say that are we asking our clients to register with alien registration? Yes. I mean it's risky, but you need to comply with what government is telling you. I'm gonna talk about this, okay? Um, for those of you who have an ICE checkup, right? So you enter without inspection. Sometimes you're parole, and then you're not parole, but you need to check with the ICE, and then they're saying that if you come to this ICE checkpoint, we will detain you. But sometimes you worry like, should I go? So usually we tell our clients to reschedule. There's a app you can reschedule. So just nowadays, this is reality. You need to take lesser of evils under Biden. There is a perils and then issues for all options, but you need to go with what is safer for you and your family. It's a tough time, tough time. Okay, molded beauty. Would you advise someone to file adjustment of the status now? Is that crazy? I mean, it's challenging, but we're successful. We file as usual, but you need to be, very careful. So, let's be honest. Under Biden, everything was easy and fast, but do not expect that it'll be the case under Trump. For those of you who filed your case on your own, you watch TikTok and YouTube, and they say, "Why do you hire attorney? Our case went well." Of course, under Biden, yes, but under Trump's second term, think twice. Hiring attorney costs quite a bit of money, expensive, but you need to work with a professional. Just don't take any chances. Don't take any chances. Okay, AB, you've been with a J1 visa for 9 months, and then you're changing your status to a B2 visa, but your fiance is a U.S. citizen. Why do you do change of status? Because remember, under Trump's first term, 539 change of status, extension of status were denied. Like a lot of them denied. Let me drink some water. So if you're thinking about getting married, uh, then you think you just get married and apply for green card. Okay, get married and apply for green card. Okay, so just don't try 539, change of status or extension of status. Okay, nature and adventures. I like your TikTok handle. how much marriage-based green card case without advance parole costs with us, call us. We're not telling any pricing. Sometimes we talk about USCIS filing fee, but we don't talk about how much we charge because we need to talk to you. So when you call us, you'll talk to our intake manager, Maria, or other intake specialists, because sometimes she get a lot of calls and she's not able to answer. She's just like human being, not an AI. So when you call us, human beings answer you. It's not like AI or anything like that. So but just call us and then we'll do free case evaluations, and then she will be able to tell you how much we charge. Okay. Now I'm gonna talk about another topic. Let's talk about DACA. Okay, DACA, Dreamers. It's very confusing, right? So in January, right, appellate court, the Fifth Circuit Court, gave us a ruling, right? Ruling basically say that DACA is unlawful, but you can continue a DACA renewal, up until recent time. So only renewal was allowed. A DACA advance parole was allowed, but not initial DACA application. Right now, we have about 90,000 initial DACA application pending with the USCIS. So what does it mean? USCIS will accept your new application now, and they did it in the past. So you can apply, you can submit your new DACA application, but this is confusing. The Fifth Circuit Court say that USCIS, you can start process and approve new DACA cases. But as of today, I just checked before this live, USCIS didn't say anything. It means that they're not processing new DACA application. So what does it mean? At this point, your new DACA application, if you apply now, will be added into 90,000 waiting list. That's what it is. So that's the DACA. That's the reality of DACA. And then also, Ashutosh, I'll get back to you. The real ID is coming up soon, but still you can fly with valid passport. So that's the answer. But I didn't ask you to wait. I just answered you okay right away. But circling back to DACA, but there's a Texas twist. Why? Because all these lawsuits that we're talking now originated from Texas. State of Texas sued the government when it was under Biden. And then the court, the Fifth Circuit Court, made very interesting kind of decision. So then let's do this. Renewal, new application from Texas. Yes, you can do it. You can do it. You can apply, renew. But the court noted that those of you who are in Texas, at some point, your work permit will be removed. You're gonna get only deferred action. It means that you're not subject to deportation. That's what they told. For those of you who live in Texas. So, will state of Texas appeal the decision, or will the DHS under Trump will appeal this? It'll go to Supreme Court. We'll see. We'll see, but we don't know. Okay, Omar Sanyang, PhD. So it means that PD. I'm sorry, I thought that there was a H. Okay, asked the question from YouTube. I'm gonna read it to you. Okay, if you're married to a U.S. citizen, is it a good idea to apply for green card after 1 year and 8 months? I see. So the question is that you got married to U.S. citizen, probably Omar entered with a visa, right, or overstay. The question is that if you apply now because they're newlywed, is going to get a 2-year conditional residency card, more likely, right? So is it better to wait and apply for 10-year? I will tell you this. For those of you who apply for 10-year green card instead of 2-year, you're putting your case into higher scrutiny, because the more that you married, you need more documentation, the bona fide documentation. Okay. So you think that, well, it's worth waiting to get a 10-year green card? Maybe. but you have a higher burden of show that you have a bona fide relationship. So sometimes it's not a good idea. Now, okay, I'm just reviewing some of the questions. Okay, so Anna Gabriela Duran, can you travel outside the states with a pending 751 and extension letter, clean record? So then you missed my statement. For those of you who go overseas with as a conditional residence, if you go alone and then come back alone, then you're gonna basically inviting CBP to call your U.S. citizen spouse. So not a good idea. Not a good idea. So for a conditional residence, it's a good idea to come back from overseas trip with your spouse under Trump. So that's a good idea. Okay. So then we have a lot of parent immigration questions. That's not common. But Jessica Wilson asked, "Do I need an so will there be interview?" So she's the U.S. citizen child petitioning for parents. Perhaps parents enter with a visa as an overstay, and then will there be a interview? Our cases, parent cases, there is no interview. So it doesn't mean that there is no interview for other cases. Parent cases usually no interview in general. That's my understanding, but it's case by case, case by case. I'm tired. Like I'm saying, case by case. Sorry, case by case. Okay. Okay. So yes, I'm just getting here. So, Doc Yami, can you get married in the U.S. on tourist visa less than 90 days, but file? Okay, so then the question is that, they're thinking or actually did get married within 90-day window and then apply for green card after 90 days. A good question. Um, you know, but you need to be aware that there is no 90-day rule officially under Trump, but it's a good idea to be careful. So it's like borderline situation. You get married within 90 days and apply for a green card after 90 days. So case by case, but you'll be asked this question if they schedule interview for you. They will be asking, when you last entered the US, did you plan to get married? Right? And then also, now you got married less than 90 days. Like, how would you answer? Right? Also, they will be asking, when you last entered the US, did you plan to apply for a green card? Since you're applying for it after 90 days, you may say no. But the first question, when you last entered the US, did you plan to get married? Up in the air, up in the air. Okay. Well, I don't think that I'm reading your name correctly. Sky Hanba, right? Or Ski Hanba. So I'm going to read the question for you, to all of you. I'm just, yes. Okay. Oh, good question. Okay. So, Ski Hanba or Sky Hanba enter without inspection and got married to U.S. citizen, right? And then this is the one that I mentioned earlier. You're the prime candidate to register for alien registration because you never apply for visa and you don't have I-94, and then you're not eligible to get work permit 675. It looks like you don't have any pending removal proceeding. So his question is it safe to apply for waiver? Sorry, let me drink this water. And then what if you register for alien registration? What's going to happen? It's kind of hard to tell, but we tell our clients to comply with this requirement. So thank you so much for asking. We're almost done, but I'm gonna read one more question. So pro alum and cis Ruth, you're asylum applicant for 6 years. Of course, it takes time. I find my love AOS and receive RFE. Okay, 864, and they responded. Okay, so sorry, I was like skipping. So, Elom and Ruth, right, couple, and then Elom has a pending asylum case, probably with the USCIS, waiting for 6 months. Got married to U.S. citizen, applied for marriage green card case, and they got 864 RFE, and then no response about 1 year. That's kind of unusual. just call the USCIS and ask for update or talk to your attorney because that's like way long time. But I'll tell you this: when you respond to RFE, the request for evidence, USCIS doesn't give you any confirmation that they accepted your response or anything like that. Okay, so maybe they're just waiting for them to find a spot to schedule for you. So probably they're waiting for interview for you. But I didn't process your case, so it's kind of hard to tell. But having said that, thank you so much for joining again today. I do TikTok, YouTube, and then Instagram, Facebook, and then LinkedIn every Thursday, 5 p.m. Central Time, live stream. And then, today we talked about Trump immigration. For those of you who join us later, make sure that you check in because I talked about some of the important, developments that are happening for U.S. Immigration and you, right? So we'll see you next week. We're switching back to marriage green card case, but you're welcome to ask any questions when it's relevant. Then I will answer any questions. Sorry that I only talk for 30 minutes because usually I have a nonstop meetings, so I'm not able to do 1 hour. But at some point, I will host live stream twice a week. So hopefully that's the case. But until then, peace be with you. Thank you so much for joining today's live. Thank you.